Hello, it's Karen Bailey from KarenBailey.net here, and in today's video I want to talk about feel the fear and enjoy the ride. Now, in internet marketing, you've probably experienced some of the things that I have. You go to do something new, perhaps it's a new marketing strategy. Maybe you need to use the phone, and maybe you need to get yourself comfortable with speaking with people you don't know on Facebook. Now, as an internet marketer, we're often challenged with a lot of new things that we have to do. And I don't know if you're anything like me, but sometimes I actually get quite sick in the pit of my stomach when I go to do something new. Even just making my first video. I remember back when I did do my first video, I must have re-recorded it about 20 odd times or so because I didn't like the way I looked, I didn't like the way I sounded, I didn't like the way I spoke. Sometimes my words were all mixed up, and at the time I used to feel quite sick whenever I went to do a video. And after a while you do get over it, but you get that sick feeling in your stomach, a real tight feeling. I don't know whether it's called anxiety or fear, but it's a feeling of being quite uncomfortable. And sometimes we even get that feeling, or I know I have at least, that feeling that your heart is actually right in your throat, and it's really quite uncomfortable. But before I want to tell you what to do about it, I just want to tell you that it's very natural, and you need to just let go of the feelings and enjoy the ride. And I just want to tell you a little story about when I went parachuting many years ago, and it's one of the most fantastic experiences I've ever had. And I think I might have been around about 19 at the time, so I was quite young, and I was living in Melbourne at the time. And I went for a training session down at the Pakenham airstrip where I trained for all day on Saturday. It was a solid 10 hours training, parachute training course, and then another 4 hours on the Sunday morning prior to them allowing me to jump. So the training was very intense, but very worthwhile, obviously. I need to have that level of training because it was actually a solo jump that I did. I was attached to a static line, which means that the parachute opened on its own after 3 seconds. But I just want to go back and tell you what happened on that jump. There was a lot of things that I wasn't prepared for that they had told me about, but just the feeling that I had, I just wasn't really expecting. So I went up in this little wee aircraft. There were no seats in the aircraft, and there would have been 5 of us plus the instructor packed into the back of the small aircraft with the pilot in front. And we all had our parachutes on our backs, and we had to sit in between each other's legs. There was just that small space for us all to cram into, and we were packed in there much like sardines. And I was the second one to go, and obviously my eyes were like great big saucers when I watched the first person do their jump. And then after that person jumped, we watched him, and he got to the ground okay, which was awesome. And the aircraft that I was in, we circled around, we came back to the point where I was going to jump, and the instructor says, "Okay, Karen, it's your turn now." So I shifted myself over on my bottom, out to the front door, out to the doorway of the small aircraft, and what they do is they lock the wheel in. So what I had to do was put one foot out on the wheel, on this locked wheel. One foot was just dangling out there in mid-air, and I had to hold on to the wing of the plane like this, where there was just no grip. I had to really hang on tight and push my body right into the wind, and the wind was trying to push me off the wing there. And I could feel all my face muscles just getting really tight from the wind just blowing it out. And anyway, I was hanging on real tight as I could. I was squeezing that wing together, and the wind was really pushing me off, and it felt like I was out there for minutes, but it must have only been seconds. And I was waiting and I was waiting and I was waiting for the instructor to tell me to go. But while I was waiting there, I was looking down at the ground, and it was just such a long way up. Everything just looked so small. So the feeling that I had is my heart was in my mouth. I didn't know whether I wanted to vomit or what I wanted to do. My stomach was actually really sick. I call it butterflies. It might have been anxiety or just pure fear, and I'm sure I was as white as a ghost. I really don't know, but I just had this horrible feeling. But I was out there anyway, pushing into the wind, just waiting for the instructor to say yes or to tell me to go, and all of a sudden he says go. And as soon as he said that word, let go, I just let go. And I started falling, and I just believed that everything was going to be okay. I just had this belief. It was just through all the training, the intense training that I'd done, and the belief in my instructor, and the belief in my parachute. I just let go. He told me to let go. I was way up there. I think it was 15,000 feet, a long, long way up. And he told me to let go, so I just let go. And I had to count to 3 seconds. I'm still not sure whether I counted or not, but it just seemed like an awful long time. And I was thinking to myself, oops, what number am I up to? Is it 1, 2, 3? What second? How many seconds have I been here for? And so I just waited and waited, and all of a sudden, I just went flying up into the air, and my chute opened. So I grabbed the toggles, and I checked my parachute out to make sure that it was all up okay, and everything was fine. So holding on to the toggles there, I ended up with a great big smile on my face, and just a feeling of total relaxation just came about me. Everything was just fine, and I held on to those toggles, and I steered myself around in a great big 360, and I just really enjoyed the ride on the way down. And it was just the most amazing feeling that I've ever experienced. And that's my message for today, though, is that sometimes we are really fearful at doing new things that we haven't experienced before. And sometimes we do get butterflies. Sometimes we do have anxiety attacks over it, or we feel really, really fearful. But we just need to believe that we've done the training. We know what we're doing, and everything's going to be okay. And once you think of that, it's just going to be okay. The outcome's going to be okay. Just enjoy it, and you're going to have a great time. So put that into your marketing, and I know that what you're going to experience is an experience of discomfort at first, but then you become comfortable, and then you enjoy it. I hope all that makes sense, and I hope you've enjoyed my little story. That's all I have for you today. Karen Bailey from KarenBailey.net.